What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 4 of the Potty Mods podcast. As always, I am Greg.
And I'm Vinny.
And we're here today to talk some football coming up this weekend. Look ahead to the NFL games, the NCAA games, and we'll talk about the world of baseball and all that. So let's get started. Tonight's game is the Patriots at the Jets. Jets are seeing a 6-point favorite, down from, I believe, 6.5 earlier in the week. Rodgers' first game on that field since the Achilles. Johnson's out for the year. I have a feeling Reddick is signed, but they're not announcing it yet. He sent out a tweet. And I don't know if his Twitter default was always him in a Jets uniform, but it is now. So I think the deal's done.
Interesting.
So, I don't think the Jets cover. I think they win. I don't think they cover. What about you? How do you feel about this game tonight, Thursday Night Football?
I think the Patriots can run the ball, and the Jets have a tough time stopping them. Jets are a lot better against the pass. The Patriots in the last two games ran the ball pretty good. So the Jets are going to have to stop that run game. They're going to have to, look out, for I guess both of those running backs to take over this game, just like Mason did in Week 1. So I think the Jets do win. I think it's a close game. I don't think they cover the points, and I think the Jets walk away here with a low-scoring game victory at home.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how Rodgers plays.
Yeah. I think Tennessee's running backs ran good against them last week. If there was any positive for the Titans last week, it was those two guys. Pollard and Spears they ran well, and like I said, Mason Week 1. So the Jets have their work cut out for them to stop the run tonight. I don't wish that on anybody.
All right, so we'll get into the Sunday games now. Just the games that caught my attention. Chargers at Steelers. Steelers a 1.5 favorite. Harbaugh versus Tomlin. The other Harbaugh, the Harbaugh that's returned. He has that team looking pretty damn good. Good offensive line. They were depleted in the offseason of some offensive weapons, but they look good. Herbert's not blowing anyone away. He's not putting up Pro Bowl numbers. He's getting the job done. Both teams are undefeated. Chargers are doing it kind of well-rounded. Steelers are doing it with defense. I'm going to take Herbert over Fields here to win, probably by single digits. What do you think about this game?
I think Coach Harbaugh is just being Coach Harbaugh, as cliche as that sounds, but he's instilled his values and beliefs in this team. You saw it the first 2 weeks. You're right. Herbert's not putting up monster numbers, but I don't think he's going to do that without having monster receivers right now. I know that there's certain guys that are catching balls. I think Quentin Johnson had a touchdown in consecutive games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, two touchdowns last week.
I think that's more than he had last year. I'm just making things up, but I think it's close.
It could
but their running back Dobbs is playing lights out. So if you look at a lot of their formations, a lot of the way they're playing, it's a lot of Michigan football or Harbaugh football. It's been successful. He's a great coach. He's got great coaching staff, and I think that's the difference in games like this on the road against a team like the Steelers. I think I've said it in a couple of other conversations that the coaching makes a big difference. And this year, I know Tomlin's amazing. I'm not saying that he isn't, but I think here on the road, I think the Steelers get this win. I think it's a close game on the road. I don't like. I said this. I don't like West Coast teams playing early games on the East Coast. But I think Chargers walk out of there with a win this weekend.
4 yards in a cloud of dust. Smash mouth of hardball football.
That's what it's going to be.
All right, I'm gonna for the watchers, the viewers here. I'm gonna throw up the.
Right. Yep. This will be interesting for Stroud. I know the first week he went what did he do? He was on the road the first week, if I'm not mistaken, at the Colts shootout. I think what you mentioned earlier is I think that the Texans were expected to put up New Orleans Saints numbers at the beginning of the season. Everybody thought that they were going to be the cakewalk to the AFC South title, get into the AFC Championship game. It's week 3. They've had 2 close games. This will be another close game. They pull it out late score at some point, and I think they cover also. So I don't think the Vikings are as good as they were last week, and we'll see how they, JJ banged up, Jones banged up, so they have a lot to prove with some other guys maybe stepping up this week for the Vikings. So I'll take Stroud on the road after 2 close games.
All right. Next game we'll get into a little bit here is the 1-1 Eagles at the New Orleans Saints, who are undefeated at 2-0. The Saints are minus 2.5 favorites at home. I think the Eagles are gonna. I don't want to say the turnaround starts now, but I think the Eagles are gonna get right a little bit. Questionable play calling late in that game on Monday night against the Falcons. But I just think the Eagles have more talent. I think they're a deeper team. Don't get me wrong, the Saints have a good defense and they can make plays. As long as Carr's taking care of the ball, they're going to be in every game. Kamara's an X factor. Olave, as far as I know, as far as I've seen, hasn't had like a monster game yet.
That Olave game that everyone is praying for.
It's coming. I don't think it's this Sunday, though. I think the Eagles get out of there, and I think obviously they're going to cover if they win. I think they get out there at the win. I think they'll win closer to 10 points than 3. But it will probably be close. What do you think about that game?
I think there's a lot of things that have to happen in order for your points to be covered, like you just mentioned. I think that the Eagles last week or Monday night, or what was it, Monday night game, they got to clean up the flags. There's a ton of flags on the field that game. A lot of guys downfield, illegal guys downfield that kind of wiped out some big plays for them. Now you're on the road. It's loud in there. I don't know. That's it.
I've been there for a Jet game. It's overrated.
Yeah. But it's
my opinion. Sorry, Saints fans.
It's not just not home. And I think the Eagles win this game. I think I'm not saying it's going to be a close game. I think they'll pull it out. I think maybe have Devontae Smith has a big game here. I don't think AJ Brown's going to be playing, so I think maybe Barkley looks to kind of redeem himself after that too. But it's the penalties. It's the hopefully everybody showed up this week on time and not missed meetings. nonsense off the field. So I hope that's all. If that's all cleaned up and they go in there and they're going to win the game. Maybe a touchdown, but that would be about it.
So you say Philly?
Yeah, I'm taking Philly in this one.
Okay. This is the Goddard game. I'm predicting a Goddard game here.
I hope so.
I don't know. Just throw it out there. I like him. When he's healthy, he's a monster.
No, he is.
Next game, we'll go with a must-win, I think, for one team. It's the Ravens at Cowboys. You said you're going to Dallas. Are you going to that game?
I'm not going to the game. We'll be in Dallas.
Okay. Ravens. Sorry, let me just finish. Ravens are -1 favorites at Jerry World. How do you feel about this game?
I don't even know what to say because I think the Ravens win the game. I think they've been they're 0-2, and I mean you're going on the road to Jerry's World, but it's more like the place stinks. They stink. I'm going Ravens. Dallas, Dak doesn't do anything for me. They're another team that's on the verge of implosion. So having an angry Lamar come into your building 0-2 is going to be a massive disaster, which could be a repeat of what happened to them last week. I mean, how much they tighten things up on the defensive side now. I mean, you got to stop. You got to stop Derek. You got to stop Lamar. It's going to be interesting. I don't really know if they got anybody who's Zay Flowers. I guess Diggs will cover Flowers, but it's going to be a bloodbath. I think they're going to get shellacked again. Honestly, I'm praying they do.
What's your beef with the NFC East? You hate them. You hate every team in that division. It's great.
No, I don't hate it. I mean,
I'm here for it.
We beat everybody in that division, so it's not like it's a competitive division for us. But it's just the Cowboy fans are just like Yankee fans. They're just like Notre Dame fans. You know, they're supposed to win the title every single year. And usually San Francisco comes into town and wipes them off the board pretty quick.
I have no real rivalry or beef with the Cowboys. My cousin is a Cowboys fan. I find it amusing. All the confidence after not having a trophy. And I can't speak. I'm a Jets fan.
No, that's fine.
But I find it comical.
There's a difference between being honest about what's the situation and delusional. And then delusional fans. So we're not fans. We get it. Trust me.
Yeah, I'm a Mets, Jets, Islanders fan. I haven't seen the title.
Speaking of Islanders, they play Sunday night.
With their 4 goalies. We'll get into hockey when I actually have a hockey note at the end of this episode, and I believe it's on the scroll. All right, next game we'll get into is a game that you touched in the flush, which we'll get to at the end of the episode. The Lions -3 favorites at Arizona to play the Cardinals. I'll go first. I think the Lions are going to kind of kick their ass. I think last week was kind of like all right, we're not going to. We can win on paper, but we have to. We're the hunted now. I think the Lions hopefully realize that now after a not so great performance by Goff at home against the hungry and healthy Buccaneer offense. I think Hutchinson will obviously have trouble sacking the little guy, the little speedster who can create plays with his legs, and Kyler. But I think at the end of the day, I think the Lions take this game and cover on the road. But it will be fun to see if the two offenses can click. This should be a fun, exciting game. What about you?
I think the Cardinals come back to reality here after last week. I think the Lions are hungry after last week's loss at home to the Bucs. Lions are a better team. They have a lot to prove here. Going on the road and kind of revenging last week. We need some more. We need Goff maybe kind of even out the distribution with some passes downfield to their receivers. Because I mean, I don't really know what St. Brown's stats are, but I think Williams got more receiving yards right now than he does.
Someone told you that was going to be the case. Episode 1 here. Just saying.
And like I said, Tuesday, Connor is carrying that team. Is he going to carry the team all year? Is Marvin Harrison going to have another monster game. Detroit's a little bit different on defense than the Rams were. You know how I feel about the Rams. I think the Lions absolutely beat them up this week. And I think, like I said, a little reality check for Kyler. Arizona was the 1-2, and Lions go to 2-1.
You said the Lions are hungry. Does that mean they go to Applebee's and hide their mouths with the menu? Have you seen that commercial yet with Dan Campbell?
Yeah, that's a great commercial. No. I read a story today that he had to sell his house after last season because his dress got leaked.
Dan Campbell?
Yeah.
I'm sure he could knock out anyone who comes to the
Yeah,
resort.
sure. I'm sure he's trying to avoid that also. So. Yeah,
all right,
cover the menu.
We got 2 games left to talk about in the NFL here. The next one is you had questioned why this team is in
them.
why this team is in like the game of the week, right?
Every week.
Sunday Night Football. Kansas City go on the road to Atlanta to take on Kirk Cousins and the new look Falcons. Chiefs are -3.5 favorite. I'll let you go first here and let it all out.
You're going to have the Falcons win at home. Chiefs are going to get their first loss of the season here. It's going to be a close game, 1-point win, late in the game, coup, field goal. This is the first road game for the Chiefs, right? So they didn't play at Cincy last week, right? So
no, they've been home.
Yeah. So here we go. You know, they got to get going on the road. So
listeners who might not know who coup is, they're probably thinking, "Who are you?" But I don't know. Did you hear that? Did you hear that drop or no?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
It was a little low on my end.
It was good.
Who are you? All right. Do you think the Pacheco injury is what ultimately cost? You think the Chiefs are going to be one-dimensional in this game?
Yeah. It was talked about on Tuesday. He's a big loss for them. It's not just a week or two. It's a couple weeks. I know they signed Kareem Hunt. Big deal. These guys have to get into practice mode and game plan and play ball. That's a lot. So you don't expect a lot out of him this week. It's going to be tough because it's going to be a lot of throwing the ball around. Falcons defense is good. So you're going to see maybe some frustration built up without not being able to run the ball and having to pass the more than they usually do. So it opens up a lot of opportunities for the Falcons defense to step up and show who they are. And Raheem Morris is a defensive coach, and I think this would be a great game for them to step up and show the Chiefs exactly who's boss at home.
I'm gonna go opposite here. I'm gonna go Chiefs by a field goal. I think the Falcons win late was emotional. I don't think they're going to carry it over. I think this is the Kelsey game. I think this is like one of 3 Kelsey games we get this year. And I'm just nothing against Kirk Cousins, but I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes all day, every day, especially not at 1 p.m., even though Cousins just won at night on Monday. But I'll go Kansas City by field goal just to go opposite you because I do agree with most of what you said. But I'm taking Patty Mahomes after a poor performance against a Bengals D coordinator, really, who I'm surprised hasn't gotten more head coaching prospects, unless their Bengals are just keeping them there and not letting anyone talk to them. But all right. So Kansas City wins by, I'll say, a field goal. And then the last pro game we'll talk about. I threw this on the docket on the outline. Because I think it's time. It's time for Trevor Lawrence to show us something. It's time for the Jaguars to look like an NFL team. Have a Super Bowl winning coach. They have the number 1 pick. They have weapons. They have good linebackers. They have a playmaking secondary in recent history. Jaguars at Buffalo, -5 are the Bills at home on Monday Night Football. There are 2 Monday night games, but this is the only one we'll talk about. I clearly think the Bills win. Can the Jags keep it close is my question. It's time for them to start earning their money And I don't know if it doesn't come soon. I don't know if it's ever going to come. And I think the bust word might be thrown out about Lawrence, who I do believe in. I liked him at Clemson. I've picked him in fantasy multiple times. But it's getting to now or never in Jacksonville for me. But I do think the Bills win, and I'll say they cover. I'm just interested to see if the Jaguars actually show up. How do you feel about this game?
I think this is one of those games that everyone's going to expect the Bills to come out, be the Bills at home, show up for the home crowd there in upstate New York, the only New York football team we have. I don't know. Something about this game screams Jacksonville sneaky fourth quarter.
I can see it.
I'm not saying they're gonna mount the 25-point comeback, but I think the fourth quarter. Allen. Say what you want. He's had a good start. He likes to turn the ball over sometimes. And for some reason or another,
you don't say.
I don't. So I don't know. I feel like this could be a fourth quarter key turnover. Jacksonville comes down. Hopefully not hopefully, but for the team's sake, because it's an embarrassment that this roster is 0-2. They come back. I think they're going to cover. And there's a chance that they win if Allen, turns the ball over like he hasn't done yet so far, and it's only in due time.
Gabe Davis revenge game?
I don't know. You got to look ahead against the Ravens game coming up too for the Bills, so it's not.
That's just a great point.
Is it a walkthrough
that I did not know. I'm living in the moment, Vin. Living in the moment.
These guys they like to look at their the schedule ahead of time.
No, that's a thing.
That Bills game's that Ravens game's a big one at Baltimore, and if Baltimore for whatever reason doesn't win in Dallas and they're 0-3 going to that game, forget it. I don't know what to say at that point about that. But I think Jaguars keep it close because Allen has a rough game. This Gabe Davis coming back, maybe he can actually catch a couple of balls for the Jaguars because that'd be nice for fantasy. But that's another conversation for another day.
I could see Baltimore doing kind of what Buffalo did last year, is getting off to a rocky start and then just reeling off like 7 of 8 or 10 of 11. I could see that, but I think the Ravens will show up early in Buffalo.
I think in all these major sports, especially like baseball and now football, it takes time to get these guys together, cohesive as a group. You saw it with the Mets at the beginning of the season. A lot of these guys didn't play for the preseason for NFL. It's not easy to just come in week 1, not play, and all of a sudden think you're going to just start beating teams, especially teams that are better than you, or you think that you're better than sometimes in certain situations. So
there's no preseason. There's no preseason NFL anymore. We talked about it in an earlier episode or two.
Right.
These guys don't play. These guys don't have the timing. I don't want to say the chemistry, but the timing.
It is. You're right.
And when like Russell Wilson's taking out his receiving core to like Lake Tahoe or whatever he's doing, that it only goes so far. It helps, but it only goes so far.
Right. Exactly. Because you're going to get the whole offensive line there to line up and snap counts and all the other verbiage that comes with it. It's just not that easy. And there's a reason, like we had said, that they have some time to play in the preseason, and it should be taken advantage of instead of being looked at as something like, we don't need it. You guys definitely need it. Everybody does.
You can't mimic game speed and all that stuff. But all right, so let's get into college. Not a great bunch of games in the top 25. But we'll get into some. The 24th ranked Illinois go to Nebraska on Friday night, tomorrow night. Nebraska is a 7.5 point favorite. I think Nebraska at home, night game. I think it'll be a little rowdy. They're on the comeback. Raiola looks pretty damn good. The wannabe Pat Mahomes. I know Illinois traditionally they pride themselves on good defense, but I think Nebraska gets the win, and I do think they cover, but it's around the number. I don't think they blow them out, but I do think Nebraska might win by 9, 10, 12, something like that. How do you feel about it?
Is Lovie Smith still coaching that team?
No. I'll do the Google machine while you break down the game.
No, I thought that was a great hire for them when they did hire him, because anytime you have an NFL experience coming back to college after what they've been through, I think that was.
It's beyond.
I think that's kind of.
It's Brett Bielema.
Oh, okay. All right.
I knew the face. I couldn't remember the damn name.
3-0 teams coming into it. I mean, Illinois isn't. They started off, +9 on the line. It's down to 7.5. People like Illinois. I think they can come out and win this game. I don't see them as being a slouch per se for them. Nebraska looking to them to be like, oh, it's Illinois, the same Illinois teams. I like them to cover. I think that I think there's a possibility for a win. Got to see maybe the best defense that Raiola has seen so far. So I think it's a close game. Illinois could pull it out at the end here with some tough defense down in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'll go Nebraska. I'll stick with Nebraska. I just think they're on the rise with Raiola. All right, next game we'll go to is number 11 USC at the Big House at Michigan. USC goes into Ann Arbor -5.5, and I think they win. I think they cover. Michigan just said that Orji will go forward as the starting quarterback. It's good for them. They have a decision, and it's going to help down the road. But I don't think this is the week. I don't. It should be a good game. I hope Michigan can hang tough with their defense and their lines. But I think USC does win. I think they probably win by 6 or 7. But it might not be like a suspenseful late. I think USC might just hold the ball, play well. I don't know. We'll see. Could be a shootout. I doubt it. Michigan doesn't really do that much. But I think USC gets the win. I think they cover probably 7, 8, 9. Do I see Michigan getting crushed by like 3 touchdowns? I don't, but you never know. How do you feel about this game?
Well, I mean, you got two iconic teams coming together playing right at the Big House. USC's coming off a bye week, so now they're a little healed up from some of the prior injuries that they've had at the beginning of the season. I just don't see this Michigan team. I don't know. It's not last year's Michigan team, obviously. And I'm not saying that every college program is reloads like an Alabama or a Georgia, but I think USC here is going to win. They're going to take this game. I think the quarterback will have a great game throwing the ball down the field here against them, because I don't think they look too good defensively against Texas. And I think Texas is a much better team than USC. But 5.5 USC. I'll take the Trojans. No disrespect, Big Blue, but they got a lot of work ahead of them.
We agree there. A lot of people are having a little fake rage that this game should be at the Rose Bowl for tradition's sake, but whatever. That'll come. The next game I'll get into is a tale of two teams. It's an ACC battle. I'll let you get into this more because you're the ACC guy. NC State at 21 Clemson. Clemson favored by 20.5. Clemson came into NC State came into the season ranked, known for their defense, known for like the linebacking core throughout the years. You're the ACC guy. How do you feel about this game?
What time is this game, by the way? I'm just curious. Is it a 3:30 or 7 o'clock game?
I'll look. I believe
no big deal.
I believe it's 3:30, but let me look.
I don't understand the line unless there's a million people suspended in NC State or that they're not playing. I don't get it.
It's noon. And you've gone black. Your camera has gone black. So I guess I'm solo right now. All right. I don't know what he doesn't understand the line. So I'm assuming he thinks NC State loses and covers. I don't know where he is. But I'm not going to stop the recording because I'm trying to get this done. All right, if he comes back, we'll get back into that. The next game will be Georgia Tech at Louisville, another ACC game that I wanted Vin's take on. Louisville -10 against the Ramblin' Wreck, right? Georgia Tech. Gonna be honest, I have not seen Louisville yet. I know they're probably the only threat on the Miami schedule going forward before the ACC title game. Um, I say Tech keeps it close and covers, but I think Louisville gets not out of there. I think they get the win at home. Let me see. I don't know if Finn's trying to get back in. Always good. Always fun. Do it. Oh, there's Georgia Tech at Louisville at the bottom of the scroll. Anyway, next game will be Utah at OK State. Utah always banged up. They're number 12 ranked Utah at 14 OK State. OK State favored by 2.5 at home. Utah always has a defense. I've been high on them for a long time. I am a fan of the Utes. I think they go into OK State. I need to get out of there with probably a touchdown win. Their defense is smothering, well coached. As always, going back to, even though I think he's more of a warden than a football coach, Urban Meyer. Oh, yeah, you're back. Thank you. You just saved the episode. It was just going to be me.
I apologize.
What do you know what the issue was?
I don't. Something happened through my phone and it kind of threw me off for everything else here. So,
all right. So, all right, where we left off with you.
NC State is going to cover the line here.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know what the situation was because the line didn't open up at 20.5. I'm going to tell you that right now. So something's going on there with NC State. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think Clemson's very good. We've seen them. Obviously, Georgia dismantled them. I don't know who they played last week.
That was one of my flush picks. They murdered App State.
Oh, App State, you had that right. Okay, so anyways, I don't think that they're deserving of a 20.5 point. Is it at Clemson too? Yeah. So
yeah.
No. I'm on NC State. I know they got demolished last week by Tennessee. But Tennessee's a million times better than Clemson. So it's they've played a lot better competition so far. NC State. So I'm gonna roll with the back. Unless the quarterback's hurt for some reason, I don't. The line just doesn't.
Yeah, that I haven't seen. That I have not seen. Yeah, I when you went black, I kind of did a little solo show, and I predicted that you said NC State would cover, but Clemson would win, right? And I think I'm with you there. I think Clemson wins by maybe like 18 or so. 17.
I don't even know if it's that. I wouldn't even put double digits, but we'll see.
All right, next game, another ACC battle. I got into a little bit when you were gone. Georgia Tech goes to Louisville. Louisville, a 10-point favorite. I think Georgia Tech keeps this close but loses. So I'm going Louisville at home. I mentioned that Louisville might be the only test for Miami, unless USF has something to say about that this weekend. But any thoughts on Louisville and Georgia Tech this weekend?
Louisville minus 10. I don't know who. Georgia Tech is a fundamentally sound football team. They've showed that against Florida State. They're well coached now. You talk about want to play for your coach. Watch Georgia Tech play. They run and they'll run for a wall for that guy. I think that it's a close game. Georgia Tech minus 10 Louisville. I think Georgia Tech keeps it close. They might even outright win. I don't really believe in Louisville at anything unless Lamar Jackson's playing, but he's not involved in school anymore. So it was very fun Louisville to watch when he was there, by the way.
All right, next game. I will be watching this game for sure because I've always loved Utah, always well coached. I know the quarterback's banged up, and he always is. Their backups always go in and don't mess up. They don't lose the game. So 12 Utah goes to Oklahoma State, who is 14th in the country. OK State is a 2.5-point favorite at home. I think Utah goes in there. I think their defense flexes. I think they bottle up the All-American running back, and I think Utah escapes with a close win, but a win nonetheless.
I've yet. First of all, I think Oklahoma State's quarterback is like like another Whedon. I don't think he's. I know Whedon was good in college, but this kid is not very good unless they have somebody else in the wings waiting. But waiting for a big game out of Ollie, and I haven't seen that yet. Arkansas gave him a game. Utah. I'm not a Utah guy unless Keith is still playing.
Defense travels, man.
Yeah. No, I know. I just who they played. Have they gone on the Utah State stinks, Baylor stinks. At least Oklahoma State's had some respectable opponents so far. So I like Oklahoma State here at home. I think the running back has a big game and shows up that he was this potential Heisman guy, and we'll see if the Utes have it on the road.
I just looked up the depth chart. Oklahoma State's backup quarterback is Mike Gundy. He's a man. Son? He's a man. He's 40. No, I was the head coach. That was a joke.
Oh,
come on, stay with me, Ben. Stay with me, Ben.
I don't know. Hey, listen, there's 3 crystal balls in Miami, so.
Is there really?
Yeah.
The whole all right, last game we'll get into in the college game is pretty damn good game on paper. Number 6 Tennessee goes on the road to Oklahoma. Tennessee is a -7 favorite on the road. I think Tennessee goes in there. I've never believed in the Sooners. I never will believe in the Sooners, even in the Stoops days. Tennessee goes out there. They show Oklahoma what the SEC is about, and they welcome them. And I think Tennessee goes in there, and I think Tennessee wins and covers over the Sooners. How do you feel about this game?
I don't know what was not to believe with Stoops' Oklahoma teams.
Oh, well, they lost in every game. They got to the championship, and then they shit the bed every time.
They're pretty good. Oklahoma here, I think this is going to be a shootout. I think you're going to see a ton of points in this game.
I think Tennessee's defense shows up. Just like Tulane's did.
I guess, but Oklahoma still covered and put up some points. I'm gonna take. That's a lot. Tennessee -7 on the road. I watched a little bit of Oklahoma ball this year so far, and Tennessee's pretty damn good. I don't know if you're a touchdown favorite on the road better against Oklahoma now. I'm going to take the Sooners to cover, Tennessee to win. Close game. Like I said, shootout. Last person to score wins. 4-point game.
All right. I'm going to go Tennessee early and often there. All right. We'll switch up the talking points here. We'll obviously there's a lot of MLB stuff going on with the wild card races. The Mets hanging tough. The Padres hanging tough, and then the Diamondbacks and Braves slipping a little bit, giving the Mets the second wild card with the tiebreaker over the Diamondbacks. And now the Mets open up a 4-game series with the Phillies tonight. Any thoughts on the NL race? I know it's a little status quo. There's so many games. The series, it's not like the NFL or college. But give me your thoughts on the current state of the Mets, the current state of the Diamondbacks, and the Braves. What are your thoughts right now?
Well, I think that the Mets are actually beating all the teams that they're supposed to be beating. Unlike the Braves, who have a tough time against teams less than them. And they're not the Braves of opening day, but they're still a more talented, better managed team than the Reds or the Marlins or the Nationals. I think the Nationals have the winning record against the Braves this year.
They did.
So I think they got the Marlins coming up, the Braves, the Mets, the Royals. We just said the Nats. The Marlins give them a run too. I think the Diamondbacks. Obviously, we're hoping the Mets. We as fans, we're hoping that they continue this. And it's exciting to watch them. Okay. It hasn't been. They have the best record in baseball since Memorial Day, if I'm not mistaken. And by the way, the Tigers are the second best, I think, at this point.
Yeah, we'll get into them after this.
But with that being said, the excitement for the Mets to be in the playoffs, the Diamondbacks have a little bit rougher of a schedule, in my opinion. I think they have Brewers, the Giants, and the Padres coming up. The Braves have, I think, the second hardest. I think the Diamondbacks, have the roughest of that group.
Will the Brewers care? They clinched the Central. I don't know if the Brewers are going to.
I don't know if it means proceeding. I think it would, right? You would hope you. So the Mets have probably. Right. So you're talking about the last series for the Mets at the Braves.
I'm talking about
Brewers.
I'm talking about the Brewers going forward. They're
Seeding,
3 games behind Philly.
Yeah. So I mean, let's just say the Mets take 3 or 4 from Philly, and the Brewers.
And they're also 2 games behind the Dodgers. So I guess the Brewers have a fighting chance.
It's going to be a very exciting finish to this season in the NL. My only concern is that can the Mets bullpen compared to the Padres and some of these other teams is nowhere. They're not even on the same page. Okay, the Mets. What bullpen are you going to get? Meanwhile, you get the best of the Padres bullpen every night, the best of the Diamondbacks. It seems like every night. I'm just concerned about the Mets starters. You've gotten so much out of them so far this year up until now. There's a little bit more to the finish line here. Can they just stay consistent enough and keep them in games in order for them to kind of maintain this second spot at this point? And that's Alonso has to show up. You can't be hitting home runs of guys, position players, and saying, Alonso deserves $106 million. He's been in a no-show. He's hit meaningless home runs again. We need him to be clutch in certain situations. And that's going to be the difference, especially when Lindor's not going to play for them. He needs to be the guy that wants to get paid, be the leader of this team finally in the last 2 weeks of your contract, and get these guys into the playoffs. Because I can promise you, if he does, he'll get the money. Maybe not the Mets, but hey, listen, you know what? Stepped up, took this team under his wing, and led them to the wild card.
So I agree with everything you just said, but I'm not as worried as the pen and the starters as you, because I see McGill and Quintana in the pen in the playoffs, which will help that pen. I also see Manaea, Sev, and Peterson staying in form, I hope. My concern is the offense. I believe 3 times an opposing pitcher's taken a no-hitter into like the 8th or 9th inning against them, or 7th or 8th. Yeah. I'm concerned about the offense in October, not the pitching, which just goes to show the Mets have a lot of holes. So as fun as this ride is and as important as this offseason is, I'm looking forward to the offseason, looking forward to some contracts coming off the books, looking forward to signing an ace. Senga's great, but is he going to be injury prone? You need to bring in a big arm for big money. You need to figure out third base, first base. You need to figure out second base and the corner outfield spots. Are you keeping Nimmo in left? Are you going to put Nimmo back in center and maybe try to go get a Santander or Soto? They have a lot of things to figure out while also being the hottest team in baseball. So it's a good problem, but it is a problem. And I do fear that against these aces, the top 3 or 4 in these rotations, I am worried, just like the last playoff time when we couldn't score against the Padres and Musgrove's shiny-ass ears. I do fear that would come back up again, because while the numbers might look decent, Pete Alonso having a terrible contract year when you look at some of the other stars in baseball, specifically Soto, Judge in the same city, they have contract years and they break records and they make history. And Pete is not doing that. I didn't even know if he was going to get to 35 home runs. That's alarming.
I don't know. I think I looked at the free agency the other day. I don't see big arms being on there that I like.
Fried, Burns, Bieber.
Burns? Corbin Burns?
Corbin Burns.
He'll probably re-sign with them, no?
You never know. I mean,
hopefully
Stearns has a good relationship with him. I know there was an arbitration disagreement there, but who knows? Cohen's money could turn anyone into friends from foes, in my opinion.
I just don't see a lot of. I don't know. Say. Well, Steve, because they're cheap now. I mean, I know he's got the money, but it doesn't. I think it's Soto bust for them, and then it'll be less backtrack and backpedal and move guys around, and
Well, that's the thing. Is it going to be – is Stearns in full control, or is Cohen going to say, no, I want this guy? That's the thing, because someone didn't want JD Martinez until like the season opening week.
Probably Cohen.
So I don't know, and that's not good. I think Cohen should let Stearns do his thing. But if Stearns does prove to be cheap and not know how to sign guys to big contracts, maybe like a Bloom was doing in Boston, and that's going to hurt the team. As good as the farm is, you need to bring in guys when you have that advantage in Cohen's wallet. So, and then all right, the next before we get to the Cy Young race, let's talk about just quickly. Like you said, you mentioned Detroit's on fire, tied with Minnesota going into today in the third wildcard spot. Minnesota's been good all year. They have a good lineup. They have good players that are not household names. Very good starting pitching, as always, as the Twins do. Their Achilles heel is the Yankees in October. But now Detroit, young, unproven team, they're coming for them in the same division. Kansas City is above them, same division as well by 2 games. Who do you think gets into October between? Like, I'll throw Kansas City into that mix. Out of the 3, only 2 can make it. Detroit, Minnesota, Kansas City. 2 of the 3. Who you got making it?
I'm going to take Minnesota and Kansas City. I think Detroit's roster and for what they've done in the last couple of years, drafting guys and allowing their young guys to play has been a tremendous asset. Their record from baseball from the 21st of August to the 22nd since benching Javi Baez has been fire. They have been just playing as a team. There's nobody in that lineup in a 1-9 and thank God because Javi Baez isn't playing anymore. And it's an unfortunate situation. Javi Baez has had an unbelievable year. He just has really tailed off. But good for the Tigers. I just don't see them kind of just doing it this year. Like I think we spoke about briefly the other day. The Royals were not a team that was on anybody's radar. They're gonna Lugo's gonna win 15 plus games. They're gonna be in playoff contention. No, Bobby Witt's had a great year. No one's really talking about it around here. Everyone's talking about Judge and Ohtani and those guys. Bobby Witt is the reason the Royals are where they are.
Witt has closed that MVP race gap because Judge
of course
went cold.
I agree. Yeah, and it's a closer conversation than it should be a closer conversation than it's going to be at the end, if that makes any sense. But no, I think the Twins are always still like. I think one of those 2 teams will go further than the Yankees.
I think the Astros. Well, we'll get to this when the playoffs are about to start. But I think the Astros and Guardians are the 2 teams that will take care of the Yankees. None of these wild card teams. Maybe if Baltimore can find whatever they're missing, which I don't think they can. I think they have too many starters on the shelf. But yeah, well, that's interesting. So bye Baez. That's how it works.
It's a shame that the Mets gave up Pro Armstrong for him at this point. It kind of looks pretty, you know.
And that's what I'm saying. If Cohen wants something, will he overstep Stearns? That's my – I don't want to say concern, but that's what has me looking with both eyes wide open at the Mets offseason. But we'll get there in time. All right, so next MLB – we don't have much left on this episode, but we want to get into some Cy Young talk and predictions. We'll go AL first. Looks like the leader in the penthouse for the award is Tarek Skubal on Detroit. Speaking of Detroit, 17-4, 2.48 ERA. He's got the most strikeouts in the AL, 221. I believe he has a .94 WHIP. And his WAR is 6. I think he's going to win the award, but there are 3 other names that I want to point out. Emmanuel Clase, the closer for the Guardians, 0.63 ERA, 0.63 WHIP. He's converted 46 of 49 save opportunities. His WAR is 4.3. Corbin Burns, the ace of the Orioles, who I hope is the ace of the Mets next year. 14-8, 3.06 ERA, 164 Ks, 1.12 WHIP. But the WAR is only 2.9. And then lastly, I'll bring up Seth Lugo having a hell of a year, deserves some mention. He won't win the award, but he's had a hell of a year. 16-8, 3.05 ERA, 173 Ks so far, 1.11 WHIP, and 4.7 WAR, which is higher than Clase, higher than Clase, higher than Burns. I say Skubal gets it done, whether or not they make the playoffs. How about you? Who's your AL Cy Young winner?
Yeah, so I think Skubal's been amazing all year for them, and I think credit to the big run because of his pitching in the last couple of weeks. I mean, like I said, in the beginning he's been good, consistent, kind of the guy that's on the mound that you're like, all right, we need a win. He's gonna go out there. He's gonna deliver for you. I'll be honest. I expected. I know Burns is in this conversation. I kind of thought he would have been a little bit more dominant in certain series as I saw him pitch this year. He looked. I don't know. I mean, okay. I didn't think he was a guy like you're talking. Like, I hope he's the Mets guy next year. I mean, I think there's a couple of guys that you can. Once again, it depends on the money, but. Man, I love Lugo's season this year. Coming back as a starter. Putting the Royals in a really good position this season. He had a lot of good starts. I don't think the Royals are where they are without him this year. I think that was such a positive influence on that whole team as far as wins, leadership. Another guy that went out there and performed every start. I don't think he's had a game that he got destroyed in. So, and even as a Met, he was good for them too. But I think you're right. I think Skubal is his to lose, and if I just something catastrophic would have to happen for him to lose that in my opinion, this award this year.
Yeah, I remember the other B. So it's Max Fried, Bueller, Burns, and Bieber are all available in this offseason. There's a couple others.
Bieber's hurt, coming off. It's.
Hey, I mean, injuries don't bother me because I'd rather have DeGrom still in the Mets than we have 10 starts of Verlander.
I'd rather have Kumar Rocket right now.
Don't get me started with that debacle. Forget. Cohen is not a perfect owner. All right, so we'll get to the NL Cy Young. I only have 3 names here. Chris Sale, leader in the clubhouse, 18-3, 2.38 ERA, 225 Ks. His WHIP is 1.01. His WAR is 6.3. He's having a dominant year. I don't know who saw that coming. I'm sure some people might have, or at least they claim. Sale is probably going to win this going away. But the other 2 names I brought up, Zach Wheeler, 16-6 after getting really no offense early in the year. And then he's got I believe 2.56 ERA, 205 Ks, a 0.95 WHIP. His WAR is 5.5. And then the last one, just because he came on the scene like a bat out of hell. Skeens, 10-3, 2.07 ERA, 158 Ks, 0.98 WHIP, and I believe a 5.5 WAR as well, same as Wheeler. I'm obviously going with Sale here. The numbers jump off the page. But it'd be interesting to see if Skeens as a rookie can take second. Maybe I think he just broke the rookie record for most Ks in a season, I believe.
I think he did.
I think he did, right?
Yeah. I mean, Sale looks like Sale from his early days this year, and there was no. If anything helped him out, probably changing leagues helped him out. Usually when it doesn't, when guys go from the National American League, it's a disaster first year. He came into the National League, dominated. Looks like his old self. Stayed healthy, and that was huge because usually he's on the shelf for something over the last couple of years in Boston or wherever he was. I mean, Wheeler, I guess, is the I don't like Sale is just the guy in this conversation. Skeens had a great year. He'll win his fair share if he stays healthy. And Wheeler should be a Met still too. So I'm with Sale on this one. Hunter Green had a good year until he got hurt. Also, he could be in that conversation if he was healthy too. But injuries. We're all praying. Yep. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. There's something else going on there that maybe there's always a ESPN situation that didn't work out behind the scenes or something for him to just leave. And he had a good gig. I mean, to go wash uniforms at St. Bonaventure now. I don't know if that's the answer to this. But.
Well, people are speculating that maybe it's a family issue. Maybe the wife's like, all right, enough of this. I don't know. He's close with like the head of ESPN, but I think him and Shams have some kind of beef, insider beef maybe. McAfee is in with Shams. McAfee is in with Iger, who's the head of Disney. So there could be some politics drama behind the scenes. Who knows?
I don't know. Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
We don't get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a stressful job, but you get paid well. I don't know what's going on.
There's more. There's more about him. I mean, I'm not. Okay. Like what? Like what's good things about that story? No, I'm just curious to know what your opinion is on this. I don't. Are those on platforms? I don't watch platforms. I don't watch that stuff. Stay away.
But I'll be interested to see who plays Urban Meyer, who plays Brady, who plays Tebow. Because I know casting with the clip show was kind of a weakness there and pretty funny to see like who was Chris Ball, who was Blake Griffin, and I heard they kind of botched all that. But I was wondering to see if you've seen it, but you haven't. Maybe I'll dive into that sometime this weekend so we can get into it. I heard it's good, but all right. The last thing before we go and let you enjoy the Thursday night game and the weekend of football, it is time for the Royal Flush. It's where Vinny and I pick 2 games each, one in college, one pro. We can change that. You can go baseball if you want, or we can do WNBA, whatever. But we're going to stick with football for now. We'll review last week. Last week, we had our picks. Can you hear me? Oh, you're muted. All right. That is our episode for Thursday. I don't know what happened with all that. All right, Vin, can you hear me? But I can't hear you. That's not good. All right. Well, say goodbye to the people. Give a little wave. All right. Thanks for thanks for tuning in, everyone. Tuesday we'll be back with a new episode. We'll react to everything. We'll see what the Mets have done. We'll see what the Tigers have done. We'll see what the Braves have done, and we'll get into it. As always, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. On the scroll, we have our social media names. Content's coming, we promise. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and have a good weekend.